Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Book of Hours. This is Therius, and this is a game that I've been wanting to get into for quite a while now. This is in the same continuity as Cultist Simulator. It is a game I played several years ago, but I have just not been able to play again until very recently. So, Brandkrug, March 7th, 1936. There has been no librarian at Hush House since the fire, 7 years now. Suitable candidates are very difficult to find, but perhaps we have found one in you. Take care on your journey. The seas around Brandkrug are treacherous. The cold comes first. Thunder growling, waves pounding, and finally me, sprawled on the sodden sand of the beach. There's something in my hands. Health half drowned. Shivers racked my soaked body. Your health is failing. Find someone somewhere warm to find somewhere to warm up. So our health has the heart aspect. The heart, relentless, beats to protect the skin of the world we understand. The heart is the principle that continues and perseveres. Winter. ... Winter is the principle of silence and endings and of those things that are not quite dead. Element of the soul. The human soul is composed of 9 elements, and this is one. Most other things have simpler souls. Each soul card can be used once a day for the kind of things you do with your soul. That usually means talking to people or crafting. So let me adjust this. That doesn't sound too bad. Alright. This also has the aspect of malady. Something has snared or sickened my soul. Soul cards can be malady tainted when you're exposed to dangerous influence, sometimes when you fail in a task. Maladies cannot be exhausted, but your soul is altered and weakened, and there can be serious consequences if they go untreated. Soaked. In peril of dissolution. Intervene quickly, but not hastily. Whoops. So, the thing about this game is most things are represented by cards and objects. Every card and object has its own set of traits. These are the traits that our health, specifically half drowned, has. Memory storm. There are storms great enough to shake the moon from the sky and one's thoughts from one's skull. This has 2 hearts. This has 2 sky, wind, storm, echo, song, the intricacies of mathematics, and the principles of flight. Laws, touch is lighter when we sometimes think. Matters of balance, harmony, and necessity. This is also a memory. Something remembered might be something understood. Memories can be used to help with crafting and to upgrade skills. Memories disappear each dawn except persistent ones. A drowned book. The one possession I kept from the shipwreck. It must be important to me. The aspects below tell you more about how and where you can use this item. Hover over them to learn more. It is a thing. The gentleman makes things his servants. The petty man is servant to things. Master Zone. It's readable. There are worse things to put in your eyes than this. Journal. I began before this book, but it'll end when I do. Soaked. In peril of dissolution, intervene quickly, but not hastily. So we have to remember. So there are a lot of things we can do, and only certain cards can go in each thing. So it'll either let us use an element of the soul, a memory, or something with the soaked attribute. So let's see what happens if we put our memory here. Scattered memories. I can't get my thoughts straight, but there's something in my hand. Your single remaining possession in a belonging slot at the top. Yep. Alive, approximately. I'm soaked, I'm freezing, but as far as I can tell, I'm still alive. You still have some health. Don't lose it. You need it if you want to be alive. What else do you have? Your single remaining possession is in a belonging slot at the top. So the game's like, just read the book. I remember, perhaps this book can help me put the pieces together. The storm didn't take everything. Let's use our memory here. I remember there was a storm. It smashed the ship like an egg, but I seized this book as the sea seized me. Then the sea brought me here to Bronkrug. I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong. Can I use my health here? The book is in bad shape and I'm not much better. We're both in need of a warm, dry, safe place, and soon. So everything has timers in this, so we just need to wait it out. Then the sea, okay. But I seized this book and the sea seized me. Then the sea brought me here to Brankrug. And Brankrug is where I wanted to be, but it's hard to remember why. What else did I lose in the storm? So we got our book back. We have memory, chore. Chore is exuberance, instinct, and a rhythm. Do those mean something to me? So that's a memory. Memory fet. Fet is the part of us which dreams. Are dreams important to me? Shapt. Shapt is eloquence and also understanding. The door opens both ways. Is my soul open to knowledge? What do I have left to work with? Perhaps this book can help me put the pieces together. So, let's see. I think we can choose one of these. Do I like the idea of being exuberant, instinctual, and rhythmic? Do I like to dream, or do I like to speak? I think, if I'm going to be Therius, I think Shore is the best option. The human soul has 9 parts: exuberance, enthusiasm, instinct, all rise from the part of the soul we called Shore. Is my Shore strong? Recover this. The other 2 possibilities will be lost to the sea for now. Fet is the part of the soul that dreams. Eloquence and understanding rise from the part of the soul we called Shapt. Is my Shapt strong? So let's do Shore. This is the coast where Brankrug Isle lies. It wasn't easy to come here, but I don't give up easily. Even so, I know there's no way I can cross to the isle in these seas. I'll need to find shelter for the night. Got my Shore. So it's another element of our soul. So we have one element that's half drowned that has a malady, and now we have Shore. Memory, Ereb. Ereb is pride, passion, hatred, and fear. Do those passions burn in me? Memory, metal. Metal is the capacity for meaningful choice. Did I prove my metal? What remains of me? Faust. Faust is sight, perception, inspiration, all the glory's gift. Is my soul a bright soul? Or Whist. Whist is the name, the memory, the part which remains. Is it important to me that things endure? I remember, perhaps this memory... So we're trying... So story-wise, we were called here, and we took a ship, and we are shipwrecked, and we are trying... Like, we basically are barely made it off onto the shore, and we're trying to remember who and what we are. Ereb is the shadow in the soul's cellar. Pride, fear, hatred, and compassion. Choose a strong Ereb, and the past where your passions were paramount. The waves will wash away the others for now. Whist is the soul's memory, the true name scratched on the cornerstone. What remains after the rest has passed. Choose a strong whist in the past where you sought voices that had fallen silent. The waves will wash away the others for now. Metal is the soul's tempering will, self-discipline, that part of us which makes the right choice. Choose a strong metal and a past where you made mistakes. The waves will wash away the others, for now. Faust is the light within. Sight, perception, inspiration. Choose a strong Faust and a past with a pursuer who can see the light within you. The waves will wash away the others for now. I'm torn between Faust and Arab. And a past where your passions were paramount. Or a past with a pursuer who can see the light within you. Let's go Faust. We'll go Faust. Perhaps here I'll find safety from what follows me. But what was that exactly? First things first, I remember there's someone in the village who will give me sanctuary if I can get there. Mysteries have been added to your journal. You can begin to investigate them when you and your journal are both dry. An old friend's address. I first heard of Ban Krug through its rector, Reverend Timothy. For years now, I've been exchanging letters with him. I can find shelter for tonight under his roof. Once I've reached Brandkrug village, the rector can also introduce you to other villagers. I don't know what that's a sundry. So these are sundries, okay. So these both have a lock. So there's 2 locks. Hold on, let me see. Can I see anything else on the map? Curebit Bridge, Hush House, Atlantic Ocean, St. Brandon's Cove, and Brandkrug Village. Brandkrug is a tidal island. At low tide you could walk there, but you probably shouldn't. These sands can be treacherous. Ask a guide the way. I don't think we can do this because nothing's lighting up at the moment, so let's click here. Brandkrug Village, a sanctuary in the storm. I'll need it to climb the cliffs in the dark, and the locals are suspicious of outsiders. More than ever so since the Restoration and the New King. Restoration and New King. Interesting. So, for those who do not know, the setting of this game and the setting of Cultist Simulator, I believe the setting is has been dubbed the Secret Histories. It is a Call of Cthulhu, Lovecraftian sort of setting with dreams and another, a dream world playing a very crucial part in how it affects the physical world. There are cults, there is magic, there are gods called hours, and there are many other things. And one of the interesting things about the setting is the thing called the Secret Histories. So I am not an expert on this setting. I still do want to go back and play through Cultist Simulator because I definitely have not learned everything I can from that game. But I do know there is Secret Histories, which are alternate timelines that also have actually happened that cross over with each other. So history is weird in this setting where it's fuzzy, it's unclear what actually happened in the past and what hasn't. So I have not heard of the Restoration, and I have not heard of the New King. These are things we probably should be keeping an eye out for. So guidance, do we have guidance? So we can use, oh yeah, we should look at our Shore and Faust now that they're not memories anymore. Exuberance, instinct, rhythm. Grail, hunger, lust, the drowning waters. The principle of the Grail honors both the birth and the feast. The heart, relentless, beats to protect the skin of the world. We understand, we knew that. Element of the soul, and then occupant. A visitor or soul element with this aspect can be placed in a guest bed to occupy it for a while. Huh. Faust. Sight, perception, inspiration, all the glory's gifts. Life is a pure flame, and we live by an invisible sun within us. Thomas Brown. Lantern is the principle of the secret place, sometimes called the House of the Sun, and the light above it. This has a sky, this has element of the skull, and occupant. Can I put can I put Faust here? No. What can I put there? Can I put my book there? Oh, there's two things over here. Consider... I can't consider this, right? Because I need to dry it. Yeah, I should dry out this book before trying to read it. Probably shouldn't have put it there. Shelter. Brandkrug village must be nearby, but it's hard going, dragging my soaked body across the soaked sand in the teeth of this wind. Which way? So we are lost right now. I can't glean anything from this book until I've dried it out, carefully. To do that, I'll need to find somewhere warmer. Much warmer. Shelter. Memory fear. The oldest and strongest emotion of mankind is fear, and the oldest and strongest kind of fear is fear of the unknown. Lovecraft. Edge. All conquest occurs at the edge. One who dwells there is blind and cannot be wounded. Another is strong and grows stronger. Edge is the principle of battle and of struggle. Scale. Hard without, hard within, hard to rouse, harder to subdue. What is left of the crude powers of the deep earth. So, everything in this game and setting have aspects, right? Everything is tied to a certain aspect, right? Our health is tied to hearts, but because we are damaged, it's also tied to winter, which is the principle, the aspect of endings and of sickness, because sickness leads to death, which is an ending. So, interestingly enough, there seems to be more aspects in this game than there were in Cultist Simulator. In Cultist Simulator, I believe there was 7 or 8, but in this one, Sky is new. Sky is a new aspect, as is Scale. So that's something to keep in mind. So how do can I use Memory Fear here? Consider refill. No. What can I do? Chore? Something in the wind. My instinct tells me it might be this way, and without a map, instinct is as good as a compass as any. I really do like the art in this. It's such a simple style, but simple styles are deceptively simple. It is hard, and I've learned this trying to make my own little avatar here. It is hard to reduce things and have them be readable and interesting to look at in just 1 or 2 or 3 colors. So it's definitely, it's very nice. They have, I don't know. I want to see more without all this fog in the way. The cliffs grow dark against the ragged stars, and then at last I see the light of a hurricane lamp bobbing in the dark. As it approaches, a face glimmers above the lamp. So we have fatigued our chore. So which means we can't use it until it's unfatigued. Fisherman's assistance. A fisherman from Brandkrug village. He can guide me up the cliff path if he trusts me. The aspects below tell you more about how and where you can use this card. Hover over them to learn more, or to see what other things also have these aspects. So the moon. Secrets are soft, night is softer still, the sea speaks. It is not always wise to listen. The nocturnal, the forgotten. Sky, wind, storm, echo, song. The intricacies of mathematics and the principles of flight. Law's touch is lighter than we sometimes think, so our Faust has sky as well. Principles of flight. So, intricacies of mathematics and the principles of flight. Interesting. Lighter than we sometimes think. Matters of balance, harmony, and necessity. Skeptical. Trust can be bought or earned. Assistance. The librarian lives alone, but there's no shame in seeking assistance from others. Assistance can open new rooms or help with your studies. It disappears when used or at dawn. Reluctant. Someone who will provide help, but only essential help. So let's talk to them. Come no closer. What is thy business? An old friend's address. Be someone that'll speak for ye? Of course, since 1930 and the Restoration, the locals have grown ever more suspicious of foreigners, but there is someone in Brinkkrug I know. Introduction. Even in remote places, one can meet new friends or make new enemies. I'll take ye by the cliffs then. This gentleman is no longer skeptical. Use him to unlock Brinkkrug village. Now the timer's super small unless I zoom in. Okay. I have to right click and drag. So what do we do now here? After the restoration of 1930, the new king's agents came looking for his enemies in these parts, and they weren't gentle about it. Since those days, the locals are suspicious of foreigners. No one in the Sweet Bones will talk to me. A sea of hostile faces. Diplomacy or bribery. So I need metal, shore, or shap. What do I have? My chores, feet, fatigued, I see. The smithy locked. Denzile Smith has more work than he needs, and he rarely opens his door to strangers. You need an introduction or a mutual acquaintance marked with edge, forge, or heart. Someone in a similar trade, or someone who can appeal to his secret passion for saffron cake. A walk to the moor. Clamber up the long reaches of the moors behind the village. Lean into the wind's fluttering fist. If I know what to look for, I might find something among the rocks. The post office locked. The postmistress may have something for me, once I know what to ask for. Mrs. and Mr. Hill. Miss Kiel is the midwife for tall and gloomy. Miss Kiel, the midwife, is tall and gloomy. Mr. Kiel, the undertaker, is slight and wry. In these troubled times, both are wary of strangers. You need a suitably marked introduction. Check the slot. Do we have... No. Reverend Timothy is a hospitable soul, but Terence, his housekeeper, guards her employer fiercely. She doesn't want his innocent theological enthusiasms getting him in trouble with the new king's men. You need an introduction or a mutual acquaintance marked with lantern, knocker, sky. I think we have that, yes. The door opens a few cautious inches. Who's there? I say, who's there? The storm wind plucks at the door, shakes the trees around the house. We need shelter. The Reverend staggers back as if he's received a blow, and then he's bombarding me with terrified, delighted questions before I am even through the door. So we knew of the priest, right? From the Reverend. For years now I've been exchanging letters with him. I can find shelter for tonight under his roof. Okay. So we were pen pals, and then he's like, oh, whoa, you're here? What the heck? Why are you here? Reverend Timothy flusters fussily, while Terrace the housekeeper busies herself with practicalities. She shows me to a warm room at the top of the house where a fire is already made up. So we got a timer here. Tech shelter at the rectory. I don't like that squeaking sound. Ugh. Ugh. Awful. Awful. Truly terrible. We need to burn this place down. Okay, so it's the morning after now, because this is the time we are in spring, the world warms. Dawn, at this time, the Sisters of the Abbey would raise their voices in praise of the Madrigard for the office of Aurora. The Madrigard is, I think, one of the hours, but I can't remember which hour it is. I think it was one of the pieces of sun. Don't worry about that. If you don't know, well, I'm sure we'll figure it out together. Long story short, there was an hour that governed the sun, who was killed and split into many pieces. Reverend Timothy is touchingly excited to meet his correspondent in person. I am still too exhausted to hold up my end of the conversation, and Terence is not a talkative woman, but the Reverend can talk for 3. At last, however, he suddenly realizes how exhausted I am and lets me sleep. Memory, foresight, wits forge and fire blast, meanings press and screw, Coleridge on Dawn's poetry. This has forge. Fire, I once read, is the winter that warms and the spring that consumes. The principle of forge transforms and destroys. The study. Reverend Timothy's words always run ahead of him, but his thoughts always catch up. So we got Fost with him. Speak with Reverend Timothy. Reverend Timothy's door is always open to me. Timothy will offer help for free as a friend. Can I put this in it? Yes, Reverend Timothy is not a man to miss an opportunity for conversation, so the whole business takes longer than it might, but he's anxious to help. So, I really like this background music. I really liked the, I didn't linger too long on the title card because I didn't want to hold people up, but the music on the title screen was very, very nice too. It's definitely a chiller atmosphere than Cultist Simulator, I will say that. Reverend Timothy is not a man to miss an opportunity for conversation. We already read this. So our Fost is fatigued now, but we got a coppery book. The unusual metal binding is untouched by the sea. So this is our consider. Can we consider, what else can we consider? We can't consider a memory. We can't consider that. We can't talk to anything yet. Examine, appreciate the soul's labors. Some books are to be tasted, others to be swallowed, and some few to be chewed and digested. Bacon. Ooh, tasty. Studying requires effort. You'll always need a suitable soul card first, which we don't have, I guess. So can I talk? No? Can I do anything? I will be right back. Alright, I am back. I had to deal with the dog was getting anxious, so I had to settle him down a little bit. Don't worry, he's still alive. For now. So I don't know, I guess I'm just, because I don't have fatigued. Wait a little. Fatigued abilities always recover at dawn unless you find a faster means of recovery. Can I recover? No. To the threshold of the house, you can only keep 5 things in your belongings. A 6th item will be abandoned unless it already has a home. Abandoned items will wait for you outside of the house. Okay, well, we can't access the house yet. Can I at least use my health down here, maybe? Clamber up to the long reach of the moors. No, it won't let me. Can I... a smoky room? No. A sea of hostile faces. No, I need my chore for that. Can I do anything with Reverend Timothy? I cannot. Can I do anything with these memories? I don't know. I might just have to wait around for the day to pass. I'm time sixing speed. So from what I remember, we're going to end up being the librarian of the Hush House, which we don't know a lot about the Hush House yet. It has a pink banner at the top. Is that significant? That's probably significant in one way or another. But it sounds like we're still unsure of who we are. I do like the ×6 speed. That's nice. Dusk, night has fallen, dawn will come soon. Oh, listen to that. Hold on. That's beautiful. Wow. So I guess that's the nighttime spring music, at least. I don't know if there's a different season music. Daybreak. Memories fade, assistance departs, but the soul is refreshed. So we lost our memory of fear and whatever the other one is. Oh, wow. Sorry, I keep getting distracted by the music. So our Chore and Faust have respawned. Or refreshed. Reverend Timothy is always pleased to see you. It's always open. Hold on. I want to try to consider this soul. I can use my Chore or my Faust. Let's use Chore. My journal. That coppery cover is familiar, but the storm so scattered my thoughts. And then while we're doing that, let's talk to the Reverend Timothy. Reverend Timothy always jumps at the offer of my company. Assistance from Reverend Timothy. Memory. Sunny. The sun is not what it was, but today he is smiling. So the sun if you are unaware, the sun in this setting, again, like I said, was split. It was killed and split. The hour, which is God. An hour is God. If I say hour, just think God. Of the sun was killed and split. And ever since that, the sun has changed supposedly changed in its warmth and radiance. As the other pieces of the sun took on, like, different roles. So this is saying the sun is not what it was, but today he is smiling. What this is in regards to specifically, if it's in regards to an entity or is it in regards to just the sun, I'm not sure. But, oh, the music's gone. Assistance from Reverend Timothy. Reverend Timothy always jumps at the author. Yep. Rector's assistants. Reverend Timothy. Rector of Brankrug, ordained by the Church of the Unconquered Sun. A learned man, blessed in the tally, the gate, and the light. Make use of the rector's help before dawn. So he has knock. The principle called knock permits no seal and no isolation. It thrusts us gleefully out of the safety of ignorance. Knock opens doors and unseams barriers. He has 2 lantern, and then he has assistance and an introduction. So we can use him to... Oops, let's collect them. We can use him to introduce us to places. Every so often, mist-cloaked bridge. Every so often, someone builds a bridge to the Isle. Each bridge lasts 100 years or 200, then the sea disposes of it. This was built in the 1890s, and that makes it the newest bridge, but that doesn't mean it's new. Repairs. Hush House has been empty for 7 years. Those 7 years have rendered the bridge perilous. Can I use... I can use him for that. So it unlocked that. A cottage where Hush House's groundskeeper lived until the fire. If I can get into the place and make it habitable, I can use it as a base for reclaiming more of the house. So I will need either 2 forge, heart, or knock. So we also don't have the Reverend's assistance anymore, and we can't get it again because our Faust is fatigued. So I think because he had knock, we can use him to get in here, but we'll have to wait until next day. We also can't use him for... We can also use him for introductions, because these say... or someone who can appeal to a secret passion for saffron cake. So I think we need to use him to introduce us to these people so we can unlock whatever they do. But, unfortunately, that is all we can do, so I'm going to fast forward. My journal, I'm sure of it. The storm scattered my thoughts, but each page I turn is familiar. I begin to recall now why I came here and the danger I fled. More about your origin and your aspirations in your journal. You can now also access the Tree of Wisdom from the top of the screen. What is the Tree of Wisdom? Ooh. Ooh, do you hear that? Oh, we got another Faust. So we have 2 Fausts now. Okay. So let's look at the Tree of Wisdom. So, rescued journal. My memories lie curled in my journal like a seed in winter earth. Once you've rescued and read your journal, use it to unlock the tree. The roots of memory. There are always choices and there are always regrets. Unlock the tree and gain a tryst card. God, I keep wanting to just stop and listen to the music. But oh, I love how this spins when I zoom in and out. Like, that's just cool. So hold on, knock. Lantern. I don't know what to make of this. What is this? Suppression Bureau. Alice sit lisette. Tibun non lisette. I think that's Italian. Not Italian. Latin. Oh my god. It's Latin. I think it's Latin. I want to look up what that is. Unfortunately, the music's not... I will wait until the music's, like, cool music's playing again, and then look that up. But the Suppression Bureau, so in this setting, magic is suppressed, obviously. Magic is not well known, but there is the Suppression Bureau who is very much trying to keep magic and the world of the dream and stuff like that under wraps. They are trying to suppress the knowledge, right? It's very self-explanatory. So Latin translator. Sorry, it was so enter text. I'm pretty sure it's Latin. So let's see. Elise. Oh, that's 2 eyes. Elise. C. Lisette. To be non-lisette. Translate from Latin. Whoops, no, I don't want to translate to French. Why would I want to translate? It is permissible for others. It is not permissible for you. I see. Huh. That's their... Let me try adding a period. It is permissible for others. It is not permissible for you. So is this like we can know how to do this stuff, but you're not allowed to know? Oh, hold on. So we can see some of the aspects here. So Grail, right? I think Grail, like, it's saying that each of the aspects cover different things. Grail, it seems to have influence over whatever these trees are. Preservation, the Bosque, and maybe Skolek Osophy. The Lantern has dominion over here, the Forge, etc. I think this is Edge. This is Winter. This is Moth, which is Chaos. We have not seen Moth yet. But the Suppression Bureau seems to have, like, sharpied over, like, redacted whatever this is. So that's interesting. It's permissible for others, but not permissible for you. Oh, wait, whoops, we have to put our book here, right? Assign. So Trist is the change and the longing, one of the 9 parts of the human soul. So it gives us Moon, it gives us Moth. I knew a man who captured moths in a Belgian. One night, on nights like this, he would release them one by one to die in the candle. Moth is the wild and perilous, principle of chaos and yearning. Can I... Okay. Interesting. So, exploring the tree, every skill could belong to one of 2 wisdoms. Decide which by assigning it here. This will grow your understanding of the wisdom and reward you with an element of the soul card. So, these are wisdoms. So there's Illumination, the brightest and fiercest of the bright arts, whose initiates purify themselves in the world around them. So Illumination, I think, belongs to Forge and Lantern, who is initiates purify themselves in the world around them. Hushery, Aesthetics, Necromancy, and Silence. It looks like it does intersect with Winter? Yeah. But it's also Lantern. And Edge. That's weird. I'm not sure how to read this map. I don't know if it's like if the line intersects, that means that that wisdom tree aligns to that in some way, or if it's where it intersects that matters. Nyctodromy, the knightliest of the night arts, travel through the darkness and the hidden places. Skolek Osophy, the study of things that should not be studied. Worms, earthquakes, abrasions in the world's skin, the most abhorred of the night arts. So these are night arts? Arts unregarded, night arts, bright arts, and then there's this hole here where the Suppression Bureau is. So, hold on. Hushery was also a night art. Right? Yeah. So, worms are... I'm not sure what worms are, but they are very much a thing in this setting. They are a very specific concept. I did not... I just... In Cultist Simulator, I learned enough that there's something up with them, that they aren't good for the world. But I don't know what exactly they are. Abrasions in the world's skin is interesting. So the world's skin, I believe, is the reality that we exist in. And it covers up, like, the center of the world, which is, like, the dream world. So abrasions in the world's skin is a breaking of reality. So, typically you don't want abrasions in the world's skin. And the heart's aspect very much doesn't want that. It beats to protect the skin of the world, we understand. So this is like creepy stuff. Most abhorrent of the night arts. Okay. The Bosk. The lore of the primeval wood. Rarely written, often felt. So the dream world that you can go into, that anyone technically can get, that everyone technically visits in their dreams, and also when they die, starts with the wood. The wood is the base of the dream world. So this is what it's referring to. The wood has strong connections to moth, to yearning, to primeval sort of base instinct. It is the furthest away from the glory. I wish I had a map of the Mansis, which is what the dream world is called, to point it out. But you'll just have to take my word for it until we can find something that I can point at. Preservation, healing, restoration, renewal. All of the arts unregarded, preservation is most commonly dismissed by adepts as unworthy of attention. Arts unregarded. Now, what does that mean specifically, I wonder? Maybe they're arts that typical, like, adepts, which are like cultists and stuff, just don't take much stock in. Birdsong, music, riddles, miscellanea, if the gods gossiped. Horomachistry. Horomachistry. The bright art dealing with the laws and the contentions of the secret gods called ours and their name emanations. Laws and contentions of the secret gods. So this is specifically arts that invoke ours, that call upon ours, or deals with ours. The bright art of alchemy. So, sorry, this is ithistry. The bright art of alchemy, metallurgy, pyrotechnics, sometimes called the art that alters. So this is definitely heavy forge, yeah. And then illumination again. Interesting. So I don't have any cards to put here yet. I don't have any skills. These are my skills and languages. I don't have any skills yet. So what's this? Oh, does that sort? Oh, it does. It does. It sorts. That's good to know. So we're going to return to the world, and we're going to... hold on. Maybe I can get his attention again. Yeah, topic. Do I want to talk to him about anything? Nothing's lighting up when I click it. Oh, I can only use soak, so I don't have... But I can get his assistance again. Let us get into the house. So yeah, let's do that. That seems pretty important. Okay. Oh. All right. Ooh, there's a lot in here. Hold on. Can I use Trist with the Reverend? No, I cannot. So I can only use Knocker Lantern with him. Okay, good to know. So this is the cottage, right? That's what it said. Keeper's Lodge. Never mind. I imagined that. Keeper's Lodge. For 500 years, in the times we called baronial, curia nocturnal, there was always a keeper to watch the ways, weed the gardens, mend the roof when the sun was shining. There is no keeper now, but the lodge's roof still weathers the storm of Bankrug Bay. Baronial period. In the 16th century, the Daywolf family became the Barons Brandkrug, governing the Isle as their personal estates, until 1759, when their line ends in madness and death. Oh god, that's such beautiful music. Sorry, I keep getting distracted every time the music starts up. So, There's a bunch of items in here, but you'll see how each item, like I said, each card and each item have their own aspects. So this straw cushion chair, upholstered without any particular skill, is lantern and comfort. Hush House has been called bleak, but usually only by those who have never been inside. So, why lantern though? Life is a pure flame, and we live by an invisible sun within us. So lantern is very much tied to knowledge and reason. It's also an unmerciful aspect. It is often said that mercy is only found in shadow. And in this setting, you will not find mercy in the sun. So, why is this lantern? I'll have to think on that. But we have this, serve here, plates, cups, and glasses, so that if I want to offer someone wine, I needn't give them the whole bottle. To serve, use a store of glasses or cups to pour this out. Cool, so this is like a workstation. We can get like little individual cups of stuff. Pilis oat bread. Gritty bread made with the hardy, ancient oats that grow at land's edge. Nectar, this is new. The green wealth in the world's veins, the pulse of the seasons. Long ago, some called this principle blood. Huh, okay. Rose, the rose which encompasseth all. 9 directions to new horizons. Exploration, enlightenment, hope. Thing, the gentleman makes things his servant. Oh, we saw this. Sustenance, the bad live. Oh, also, as I'm scrolling over those, you can see everything that shares that aspect that I'm scrolling over lighting up. So that's how we'll find things later on. So sustenance, the bad live that they may eat and drink, the good eat and drink that they may live. Socrates. First course, generally eaten as a light snack or before a main course. Oh, this is important. So, I also have the DLC for this game called Hours of Light. I don't know what it specifically entails, but I think they did actually weave it into the main game. I think serving meals to guests is part of this. So this is completely unfamiliar to me. I have not touched Hours of Light at all, so I do not know what this is, but this must be related to this, because this is new. Bread. The grains suffer so that they may enter into us and be one with us. Cooking ingredient. This will be part of something greater. When you have House of Light, cooking ingredients can be used for cooking and making food in the kitchen. Forge. Fire, I once read, is the winter that warms and springs that consumes, and then heart. So in terms of bread, I want to talk about this because it kind of distills down how this setting has the aspect influences. So this is a wonderful bread, right? It's forge because it was baked in a fire. Fire is very directly related to forge, but it also turned turned ingredients, destroyed them, and turned them into something else. So it turned the wheat and the yeast and the other stuff mixed into the bread, right? And the act of baking is a version of invoking forge. It's heart because it's hearty. It's bread. It preserves life. You eat it and you're sustained, right? Nectar, same. What's the difference between nectar and heart? They seem like they would be pretty closely related. Nectar is a aspect I'm unfamiliar with because it was not in Cultist Simulator. But green wealth in the world's veins, the pulse of the seasons. We'll have to see more nectar stuff. But rose, Everyone knows that good food can make you feel hopeful, enlightened. Let's see. Whoops. I didn't want to click there. Let's see this tea. C&H Second Flush Assam Packet. Tea from the land of the real unicorn. Imported by Carter and Hero. Edge. All conquest occurs at the edge. Oh, we've seen this. So edge is basically, yeah, principle of battle and struggle. That's all you need to know, really. Knock. Lantern. Why would tea be that? Leaf, the hands of a plant. Brewable, ready to be steeped or warmed or transformed. Use this at a fireplace or kitchen range. Dandelion coffee packet. Coffee from beyond the great deserts. Forge, lantern, and scale. Hard without, hard within, hard to rouse, hard to subdue. What is left of the crude powers of the deep earth. Is that related to the hours from stone? Or is this something different? So, the hours of stone were old hours that were killed or made extinct by other hours. They're more ancient hours. I think there is only 1 hour of stone left in the world. Material, something with the potential to become something if I put it in something. Okay, cool. Shadowless silk, a variant of the Persian silk tree, golden as the shadowless kings. Flower, the hair of a plant. Okay, so leaves are hands of plants and flowers are hair of plants. Honey scar scented candle, a candle scented with honey scar jasmine. Forge, rose. Candle, they generally burn brighter, but we generally burn longer. Light, so we can see or so we can celebrate. Shaving mirror, snip snip, oh no, I don't like that. Okay, so moth is chaos and yearning. For some reason, it also has heavy association with cutting, specifically like cutting hair or using scissors. Why it does, I'm not quite sure. I didn't get that far in Cultist Simulator to figure that out. What else do we have things to look at before I look at the books? So we have this, Potted Dragon Tree, a determined spiky little survivor. Hush House Key, heavy enough that it takes both hands to turn, heavy enough to brain someone that you need both hands for that too. So this is a key, so it obviously is directly tied to knock, which is the principle of opening. It's silence. Why is it silence? Maybe it's because it's the Hush House key. It's a, the knowledge in here I can only imagine isn't knowledge that you want to just get out. So interesting. Key. The part of the soul called shaft is left outside the white door of the mantis, as a key in the door, or as a sword outside a king's hall if you listen to the noble endeavor. Huh. What could that mean? The part of the soul called shaft is left outside the white door of the mantis. So, again, for those who do not know, there are several doors within the mantis that you can that you have to advance through if you want to get higher up it. The mantis is like a giant pyramid or house or whatever. And the white door is a door of like cold and of winter, and to pass through it you have to leave your voice behind. So in Cultist Simulator, I think the vibe here is that as a librarian, we know more about the invisible arts than like the layman adept would. And in Cultist Simulator, we could only express it as our voice. We're leaving our voice behind. But it sounds like we're specifically leaving the part of our soul called shaft. So we're leaving one of the 9 parts of our soul behind. And we're using it as a key. Because shaft, we don't have shaft right now, so I can't read it. Let's Good to keep that in mind. Cracked in fly spect. Why is it knock? Oh, because it's fractured. So knock is very heavily associated to wounds. It's said in a lot that every wound is a door, but not every door is a... Wait, what was it? Every wound is a key, but not every key is a wound, or something along those lines. So breakages and wounds are very heavily tied to knock. And lantern, because lantern deals a lot with mirrors. Yeah, this mirror is also lantern. Because lantern is also light, and light is reflected through mirrors. There are some beings from the Mansis, from the dream, that are very heavily associated with mirrors, that can only appear within mirrors. And they are lantern as well. Basket of clean linen, a nighttime luxury. Heart, thing, woven. Take this to a workbench to render into rags. Restorative, for rest and recovery. Something that will help you recover from maladies if you use it in bed with sufficient suitable power aspects, especially, but not exclusively, if it has useful power aspects itself. Whoops. Dandelion wine. Homemade flower wine. Thing. Liquid. What seeks the depths, flees the heights, and cannot be constrained by any chain ever forged. Beverage. There are some things it's wiser to drink in the morning, and others it's wiser to drink in the evening. Restorative. Intoxicating. Quick! Bring me a beaker of wine so that I may wit my mind and say something clever. Aristophanes. To serve, so we can use this to pour cups of it. A lantern. Life is pure flame. Yep. And then this has 2 nectar. Interesting. Ooh. Sorry, listen to the music. This is like a different version of one of the Cultist Simulator songs. I've noticed all of the music so far is far more hopeful than in Cultist Simulator. And this is very... Yeah, oh wow. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay. Also, I would totally live in this little cottage. If it had an internet connection, absolutely. Or I would just, like, stay a weekend here or something, but, like, look at it. It's, like, so nice and cozy. So I've been avoiding this. So this is the fireplace, and then this is our bed. Guest bed lodge. Stout, rustic, snug. Use a matching soul card to move your belongings in and make this your bed, or place a matching visitor card to encourage them to stay a little longer. So this bed specifically has scale, forge, key, and heart. Let's move in. Camp. I'll make this my lodgings for the time being. Move your belongings into this room, and you can then use this bed to rest soul cards and recover maladies. So let's do that. Can we make tea? If I cast an object into the file, it will be transformed, destroyed, or lost. If the item is brewable, add a soul card to brew it instead of destroying it. Brew over the fire. Bring water to the boil. Permit the potential here to express itself. Permit the potential here to express itself. Yeah, okay. It's a gentle evocation of forge. We're transforming something, yes, but we are bringing out the potential of something rather than destroying it utterly. Steam and scent both rise. It is ready. This has the same description as the... Whoops. Can I not put it down? Collect. Is it just in my inventory now? Oh, there it is. Okay. And then we can't brew this because we don't have any more soul cards. Oh, I should probably read these, actually. Uncatalogued book. Curia. Catalog this to learn more. Uncatalogued. There's nothing as safe as ignorance or as dangerous. Narrow wolf. Uncatalogued book. Nocturnal. Curia, Nocturnal, Baronial. Oh, these are different eras, right? For 500 years, in the times were called Baronial, Curia, and Nocturnal. These were always the keeper to watch. To watch the ways. Okay, so these are books from different eras. So this is Baronial, then the Curia, and then Nocturnal eras. Or times. Traveling at Night. Ooh, this is a book from Cultist Simulator. It's a very important book from Cultist Simulator. It's also going to be the title of the next game in this setting that is currently in development. I think it's going to be a CRPG, which I'm looking forward to. But it sounds like this book series, because it's only volume 1, is very important to the setting. Traveling at Night, Volume 1, The Annotated Dream Journals of Christopher Alopoli, sometimes called The Only Readable Occultist. Literate, entertaining, bewildering. Subjects, Edicts Liminal. The precepts of elimination and division established by the enigmatic conclave of hours, sometimes called the Chancel. Huh, okay. Mystery Knock. Greater challenges require stronger skills. Tally price, a price as the invisible world would reckon it, paid in uncommon currency like the tokens called Sprintriae. Nocturnal period. By the beginning of the 20th century, an unwise librarian's enthusiasms had brought Hush House to penury. Nocturnal branch. Later, the Suppression Bureau stepped in to offer an arrangement. Hush House received funding, but submitted to yearly inspections and also surrendered a portion of the aisle for the branch's prison. Codex. Pages, cover, spine. Knowledge decently tucked away like organs. So the Suppression Bureau has its claws in the Hush House. But that might have changed because of the fire that was supposedly burned it down, right? Or at least made it unusable. What's this? I don't remember seeing this. Behind the scenes, the Curia of the Isle is long gone. Once it helped preserve a little knowledge and a kind of safety here in Brandkrug and established the position of librarian. Rowena, secretary, persistent of the Curia, a complex entity who has long protected Hush House, is both exhausted and compromised, and so it's time for the librarian to return to the favor and establish a successor to the Curia. Help visitors to pursue their goals and develop their agendas. When you've found 6 suitable candidates inspired by agendas, you can suggest they found an organization that's a worthy successor to the Curia of the Isle. If you cannot find a suitable secretary, persistent, Rowena will continue to serve in that role even as she continues to wane. I see. We can... let's not look at that yet. Just because it seems like that's going to involve... Because that's way over here. We haven't even met anyone that, like, we could envision. So, can I study this? So, Traveling at Night, Volume 2, it's the same description. Mystery Sky. Greater challenges require stronger skills. Subject sights and sensations. To mix the rarest colors, merciless detachment is required. By the beginning of the 20th century, an unwise 20th century. So this is pretty recent. I think this is the era where we're in the nocturnal period now, I think. These are pretty recent books. I think. The walls of the Hush House tower above me. I had been told that it was abandoned by a fire, but there's no sign of any such thing. The building will no doubt need restoration, but it's in better shape than I'd feared. Books are the memory that does not die. Reach the inscription above the gate. So do we use the key here? Okay, yeah, looks like we use the key. Can I do anything with this? Whoops. Can I read this? Consider it? Some books are to be tasted, others to be swallowed, and some few to be chewed and digested. Studying requires effort. You'll always need a suitable soul card. So we do not have a suitable soul card. I wonder if we can rest once we have this, once we move our stuff in, if we can rest in the bed to refresh soul cards. This is a safe place for me now, to the extent that dreams are safe. And dreams are very much not safe, because they lead to the mansis. Interesting. So, can I soul? I can't put any of my restore. Ooh, so I can restore. Let's see what's in here first. Expansive chair, upholstered in a velvet of peculiar richness that invites the hand. Sit down a while, you've earned it. So this has the aspect of grail, versus this, which has the aspect of lantern. Interesting. As Cornish a plant as any, vase of gorse. Treasury of shelters. That's an interesting thing to call an umbrella rack. It's like an armory for not getting pneumonia. Heart, okay, and by that description, yeah, this would fit with heart, which is preserving and continuing. Sky, maybe because it's dealing with weather specifically. Maybe weather is sky in a way. Windstorm, echo, song. So weather in this setting is very directly tied with mathematics and flight. I guess that makes sense, but that's interesting. Maybe because the sky is a window up into the glory, like the literal sky, and the glory is the sun. Expensive chair. Lingering repose, upholstered in velvet of peculiar richness that invites the hand. So this has lantern. So these single ones have moon. Secrets are soft, night is softer still. The sea speaks, it will not always lantern. The nocturnal and the forgotten. So why is this lantern? And this is moon. Maybe because it's a single chair versus a couch? Interesting. That's something to keep in mind. Yeath hound horns. In times past, the Yeath pursued the impious and impure across the moons of this country. Hendrik de Wolf never liked them. Yeath hounds. Yeath hound horns. The Yeath pursued the impious and pure across the moors of this country. What the heck is a Yeath? What the heck is a Yeath? Grail, scale, wall art. You could describe the whole house as a book, although it would be troublesome to index. Carcass, something that would once moved without my assistance. Take this to a necropsy table to render into animal bones. Okay, cool. Good to know. Red deer antlers. Not quite hair, not quite teeth, but proof that someone killed something. I mean, yeah, horns are just weird growths. Huh. Okay. Serena Blackwood. This bust is carved from alabaster. Well, who's Serena Blackwood? The Tattered Outlaw. Thurska Blake, 7th librarian of Hush House, liked painting donkeys. No one else liked her donkey paintings, but Thursia never much cared what other people liked. Look, you know what? I support your donkey paintings. Okay, Thursia, paint what you like. Raveline Summer, a dry spell in a still place. Forge and nectar. Why nectar? Why forge? It's a very pretty painting. Very nice composition. It definitely evokes a mood. Nectar, though. I guess, yeah, because it's like a, It's like capturing kind of like a specific. It's not a desolate vibe. It's like a vibe of a living place, if that makes sense. When the dry spell forge, maybe because it's. I think I know why it's forge and nectar, but trying to put it into words is very difficult. We can maybe come back to that, but there's nothing else in this room. Is there? Nope. So this room didn't give us much to work with. So this is, wait, hold on. Watchman's Tower Gatehouse. Back in the 11th century, Brian of Brittany built the tower and its gate to protect St. Brandon's Abbey, as Hush House was then known. Later, the Barons de Wolf strengthened the gate against their many enemies, but it's a long time now since Hush House was any kind of fortress, and by the time the scholars of the Curia took possession, this place had long been a comfortable waiting room for visitors to the house, too minor to merit immediate attention. And this is the baronial period, so this was built when it was first arrived. The stairs to the room above are blocked with debris, and the plaster is peeling from the walls. I'll need help from the village to clear and restore the place. So I need assistance. Wait, star is essential. To go in the slot, an object must match all of these. So I will need assistance, and I will need forge and lantern. Or lantern. Required. To go in the slot, an object must at least one of these. Okay. Cloistered garden. I can make out a green and shaded place, but it's choked with weeds and thorns. I'll need help to clear this space. So we'll need assistance for this as well, and we'll need lantern or nectar. So, gatehouse stairs. Blocked with debris, plaster is peeling from the walls. I'll need help from village. So we need help from someone who is... So everyone has one or two aspects they are like aligned to, right? That they specifically have a deeper connection to. I mean, I think technically everyone has all these aspects within them, right? Because there are 9 elements of the souls, and I can only imagine all 9 elements cover all the aspects. But it's like kind of like having a deeper connection where everyone has these things within them, but some people resonate with one or two more than others. So people who are aligned with forge are like blacksmiths, handymen, stuff like that. And then people aligned with lantern are like people who are good at finding things, people who are intuitive, scholars, people who like who are like mediums. I also believe like spiritual people. So to fix the gatehouse stairs, we either need somebody who's handy, so who can literally fix it, or somebody who is good at, I don't know why lantern specifically, maybe because, why lantern specifically? For this specific thing, because it's blocked with debris, plaster's peeling from walls. Blocked with debris. I think maybe because... I don't know. Maybe they're just good at finding their way around the debris and finding the best way to get the stuff out of there, or something like that. But the garden needs lantern, probably for the same reason as the gatehouse, or nectar. So we don't need somebody attuned with forge to clear out the cloistered garden. We need somebody attuned with nectar instead, which I can only assume, the green wealth in the world's vein, I can only assume is very tied to plants and stuff like that, and nature. So that's something to keep in mind, and we should try to examine that when we come across them. But I am out of cards. I could rest. I'm only concerned with, so we immediately restore everything at the beginning of the day. So I'm just worried about, I guess it, like restoring something, then using it, but then having it like time out at I guess that doesn't really matter that much. I want to make this coffee. I want to make the coffee to have it ready in case I need it for some reason. So let's restore our. Can I not do this? Hold on. Restore with. Can I use this? Or consume it? A quick nap in a warm bed with something comforting to drink while the winds chase the clouds and the clouds chase the sun. Restore a fatigued soul card. I hope it doesn't use that laundry bin because I think it looked pretty. It was pretty aesthetic where it was. We'd probably take our wine down, but we don't need to do that yet. How long is each day? Night has fallen. Dawn will come soon. Okay, so we did get our basket of dirty laundry. Once washed, it'll be suitable again. Ah, I see. Soiled, something that needs cleaning. How do I wash you? How do I wash you? That's interesting. So it doesn't have the restorative property or whatever anymore. Because that's my dirty... How do I wash you? I guess we'll have to keep an eye out for that. I didn't need to do that because the dawn's like right now. So we need to keep using our connections with Timothy to get us introduced to people, right? And also help with, because I think Lantern, he'll actually be able to help us with both of these rooms. And let's try to read one of these books. Let's read Traveling at Night, Volume 1. So this is a mystery knock. So I need knock for this. Optionally use a memory. I'll need to apply myself. Optionally use a skill. Studying requires effort. You'll always need a suitable soul card first. So part of the thing with this game is how, you know how some have like 2 lantern or 2 of an aspect? This is one of the checks that care about how much of an aspect you have. So I guess to read this book, we'll need... Hold on, do we have a soul card that gives knock? We don't. But I'll put it here. So we need to get 4 knock somehow. Whether that is in the soul, the skill, or the memory. We don't have any skills yet. So we definitely don't have enough. Do we have enough for this one? Because it needs sky? No. We do not have 6 sky yet. So, Interesting. So we can't read those books yet, I guess. Sunny. Ooh, this gives 2 sky. This gives 1. So that's 3. We don't have a skill or a memory skill or what? What else can we use? Skill. So that would be memory. We don't have a skill to use, so we can't use that yet. Oh, hold on. I can probably catalog these, right? Soul. Let's use our chore. This book was probably written around the time of Hush House's burial period, roughly 1500s to 1700s. 15,000s is a very different time period. If I examine it, I can learn more about what knowledge it may contain. Books from this period are only rarely contaminated. What does contaminated mean? Hold on. Contaminated? A book can be with what? Like mold? What do you mean? What do you mean? Okay, we got Reverend. I think we should probably use him to introduce us, right? So if we click and drag the lights that we can use him in. So let's Cradles and Coffins. A mutual acquaintance has introduced the Kyles to invite me for a fish supper. If I'm lucky, fish supper may mean Mrs. Kyle's celebrated galates? Yeah. And can we talk to... Reverend Timothy is absent on the librarian's business, but I already knew that, didn't I? Yes, I did. Yes, I did indeed. All right. Cradles and Coffins. Mr. Kyle pumps my hand. Just me and thee and the miss tonight. Well, there's a client in the back, but if thee don't bother her, oh my god. But if thee don't bother he won't bother thee. The Kills household is now available. Departure. Someone has finished their work, which is Mr. Timothy. Memory, satisfaction. Some appetites are easier to satisfy than others. Grail and heart. Hunger, lust, drowning waters. So Grail is very sensation-based, which it makes sense for satisfaction. And then satisfaction also, I'm satisfied in one way. We had fish dinner, which fed us, so it preserved our existence, right? But she can also paint. Okay, so let me reread this. I don't know if this is new or not. Miss Kill, the midwife, is tall and gloomy. Mr. Kill, the undertaker, is slight and wiry. For 10 years, she had drawn villagers into the world, and he has shaped cradles for their departure. But she can also whittle, and he can also paint. Paint, so obviously... Miss Kill is very associated to Grail and Grail because Grail is birth, and probably heart as well because it sounds like she cooks. She likes fish, making fish suppers. While Mr. Kill is Undertaker, which deals with winter. She likes to whittle, which I don't know if that has any specific connotations with Grail or hearts, but maybe, I don't know. But he can also paint. Winter is aesthetics, right? Winter is... Do I have anything that gives winter? I do not. But winter is tied to aesthetics. Hold on, maybe it was mentioned in here in the, aesthetics, necromancy, silence. Winter has very strong connections to painting. In both seemingly this game and also in Cultist Simulator. But also winter is endings, so he is very winter aligned. The front room, so I have to use Element of the Soul. It has to be Grail or Winter. I don't think I have any Grail Soul cards. I do not. Let's Faust. Let's get his introduction for the inn, and maybe I have Moth, I have Hearts. I don't think I can do anything with this. I can make this coffee. Let's do Hearts. Bring water to the boil, permit the potential here to express itself. I probably should be playing 2 times speed. There's no reason not to. Reverend Timothy always jumps. Yep. You're a good guy, Timothy. I haven't come alone. Reverend Timothy's presence demands respect. And do we have... So we might be able to use our... The change of the longing, one of the 9 powers of the human soul. So interesting. So in Cultist Simulator, we have 3 aspects to our attributes. We have passion, we have reason, and we have our health. If there are 9 parts of the human souls, it sounds like they split our stats for 3 for each one. right? I have to think about that, because I would want to see all 9 parts of the human soul to see if we can align each one to specifically. But this sounds like, anyway, this sounds like it could be passion. It could have been like one of the aspects of passion. Eventually, the other patrons unbend enough to let me buy them a pint and let me listen to them complain about the weather. I'll find a warmer welcome here next time. Memory, solace, peace after trouble. Catalog a baronial period book. Now I have an idea of the book's nature and its contents. De Horis Book 2 in Latin. Shoot, it's written in Latin, so we need to translate it somehow. A 19th century reprint by the indefatigable Nathaniel Darcy Evers of a 14th century Latin translation of a 4th century work. All right. Mystery Edge. So we need edge for this. Subject, disciplines of the hammer, to purify and to combine the selves and the essences. The hammer shapes, gates, and shatters doors within us and without. Huh. Okay. Alright. Let's catalog this. Ooh, wait, hold on. We only have one part of our soul left. Can I not use... Oh, I need lantern or knock here. Alright, we might as well use the last part of our soul that's fresh here. Curia Period Book. This book was probably written around the time of Hush House's Curia period, roughly 1700 to 1800. So the baronial period was 1500s to 1700s. This is 1700s to 1800s. So that was 100 years. If I examine it, I can learn more about what knowledge it might contain. Books from this period are only rarely contaminated. I really hate the sound of that. I really hate the sound of something being contaminated. Steam and scent both rise. It is ready. Dawnline coffee. Coffee from beyond the great deserts. Collect. So I think I'm gonna fast forward because that's pretty much, we've done all we can in the day so far. Now I'll have an idea of the book's nature and its context. Ooh, I like this. The Berry Book. Ooh. Thursia Blake, 7th Library of Hush House, talks about fruit for no other apparent reason but that is that it was the kind of thing she did. She talks about fruit in the woven language Kilasimi. Leaves and thorns. There is no scent without sorrow. Curia period. In the 18th century, a secretive cabal of scholars established the Curia of the Isle to manage Hush House, making it a haven of knowledge until 1896, when a disgraced librarian brought the house to penury. Written in Kilasimi, a woven language. We need 8 nectar for this. Subject, leaves and thorns. There is no scent without sorrow. What could that mean exactly? We only have the 1 book left, but we don't have any more soul cards. I'm just gonna leave that there. Where should I put my journal? We can leave the journal. We don't have like a... Hold on. I could just carry a chair with me. Cool. Alright, cool. So, peace after trouble. Sunny, the sun is not what it was, but today he is smiling. This game feels so much more hopeful than Cultist Simulator. I like that. It feels cozy. It feels cozy, and I like cozy. So we're in spring. I guess the next one is summer. We're already like halfway through spring. So I need skill cards to do that. How do I get skill cards? Is that through reading books? I can only assume. Oh, dusk, night from day, silver from gold. The vesper hour when the priests would honor the rising of the evening star, Menescape. Menascate, I believe, is also associated with the moon. Yeah, evening star. And now we are in night. Night has fallen, dawn will come soon. Keep vigil. And then we should probably see what is midday, the midday descriptions. Daybreak. Let's Faust again, because we're going to need his help to clear out both those rooms. So we're going to reserve our Faust for that, but we are going to consider this with our... no, Tryst. This book was probably written about the time of Hush House's nocturnal period, after the turn of the century. If I examine it, I can learn more about what knowledge it may contain. Books from this period are almost never contaminated. Still hate that idea. Still hate the idea of something being contaminated. What does that mean? Who knows? Oh, shoot, hold on. Me and mine. The Sweet Bones has been the public house in Bainkrug since Cromwell's time. Its history is notable, its beer is not. Guests looking for discreet employment or for discreet assistance congregate in the snug. Manual labor. Heart. There's not much work on offer in Brandkrug, but I can find a 6 pence worth of odd jobs, or add a coin to find visitors seeking employment. Okay. So this is, so I guess because these both have the heart aspect, that is the job it wants me to do. What if I do fervor? Lantern. I could offer help with correspondence and arithmetic. There's no school in Brandkrug, and not everyone here knows their letters. Or add a coin to find visitors seeking employment. Interesting. Well, I need the Faust. Let's see what, because heart. Let's see what that does. Does it just pay us? And so, oh my god. Okay, there we go. I need to remember. I need to right click, not regular click. Just click and drag. Miss Gill. So, what do they need? I need Grail or Winter. Miss Krill likes conversations about beginnings. Her husband prefers to talk about endings. A shilling will buy her help for a day. I don't have a shilling, but let's see. Ask Mrs. Krill about something specific or offer him payment for her help. Can I... no? We'll see what happens. Let's speed up time just a little bit. Rain. Soft rain brings life. So 2 Grail, 2 Nectar. Weather. Each kind of weather brings its own influence. I can make use of these as a memory. Okay. Well, you can't get feathers off a toad. Yeah, I'm assuming that's because I didn't have a shilling. So let's do... This probably is more useful to us right away. And he has 2, yeah. Yep, okay. And then we'll hire him again afterwards. Timothy is such an upstanding guy. I like Timothy. Okay, now I have an idea of the book's nature and its contents. Traveling at Night, Volume 3. Okay, cool. Door and wall. Subject. The lock seeks its key, and the wall seeks its door, and we, who would pass, learn at last that they are not our servants. William Harris. Nocturnal period. By the beginning of the 20th century, an unwise librarian's enthusiasms had brought Hush House to penury. Nocturnal branch, later the Suppression Bureau, stepped in to offer an arrangement. Hush House received funding but submitted to yearly inspections and also surrendered a portion of the isle to the branch's prison. For the branch's prison. So, does the Suppression Bureau still have a hold on the Hush House? Or is it... Okay, these are all nocturnal periods, which would make sense. Christopher Alopoli, I'm assuming, lived only in the 20th century. So, do we have... are we in a new era of Hush House? Like, did the fire kind of reset things a little bit? Where did we get? Because I think we got a letter saying we think you might be a good librarian. So, edicts, liminal. So I'm just wondering if that's where the letter came from, right? Did it come from like the Suppression Bureau or somewhere else? As they used to say in my youth, the day is done and so am I, but I've earned my pay. That's also what they say in Cultist Simulator when you do manual labor. 6 pence, a silver coin of least value, but silver nonetheless. Cool. This is our sundries. I'm gonna keep them right there. So, do I want to short? Yeah, let's work again. We should probably build up some money. I don't see why not. More books. Oh, probably because I could use shore to categorize these books, huh? Mirror scope. Okay, hold on. Let's go back to speaking with the Reverend. Topic. We don't need a topic. Let's see. Let's see. So this is the Watchman's Tower, first floor. This is part of the baronial period. The notorious Ava de Wolf, first and last Baroness Brainkrug, liked this room because this side of the house, sorry, first and last Baroness. Ava de Wolf, Baroness Brainkrug. So there was only one Baroness. So there was, I'm assuming there were barons before and / or after. Because this side of the house carried fewest memories of her poor father Valentine? ? So she could eavesdrop on the conversations of visitors waiting below? Or just because of how the pale light slanted through the window in the last days of winter? Okay. And this is Watchman's Tower, top floor. The ceiling bows worryingly under a damp patch. There must be a leak in the observatory. The sun above knows what state it's in. I could seek help and enter carefully. Damp patch. There must be a leak in the observatory. The sun above knows what states it's in. I could seek help. So why? So sky makes sense, right? It's a room plagued with weather damage. But why Grail? What is the room? What does it look like? Top floor. It's an observatory. Right? Because this has a telescope thing? Is that a telescope? I don't know. But why? So why Grail? Why Grail? Why Grail? If it was like a never mind. I'm not gonna finish that thought. It's not appropriate. But if it was like a hookah lounge, I could see Grail, but an observatory? I don't know. Well, we can't do that because Reverend isn't good at that. I can make out green and shaded space, but it's choked with weeds and thorns. I'll need help to clear the space. So we could also try hiring people here. So add a coin. I think adding a coin just doesn't actually take the coin. It just lets us find people. As they used to say in my youth, the day is done, and so am I, and I've earned my pay. Ooh, that combined into a shilling! 12 pence, or if you prefer, 1/20th of a pound. Pence, an center currency of a fallen empire. 1 penny is 4 farthings, 12 pence are 1 shilling, and so on. Fallen empire. Is this because of the new king thing and the whatever? Interesting. St. Brandon's Cloister. Oh man, sorry, this song's beautiful. With the rain sound effect in the background. Oh, it's so cozy. It's like making me like wanna like get like a thing of like cocoa and like not cocoa tea. I want this is more tea, and like I want to like sit on like on a chair, preferably facing the garden, with like a nice like cup of tea, staring out into the garden and just like enjoying the weather. Anyway, St. Brandon's Cloister. The sisters and brothers of the abbey built these gardens in the 13th century at the height of the period we now call Solar Gothic. Is that a thing? Solar Gothic? I need to look that up. Solar Gothic. Walk here a while and breathe the peace they left. Whoops. Of the abbey. So this was an abbey before, but this is the 13th century, which is before the Baronial period, right? Where can I find Baronial? Whoops. 16th century. Became the Baron's crew governing the isle as their personal estate. So this is even before, so this is during when it was an abbey. Walk here a while and breathe the peace they left. I would kill to have an area like this. Oh my god. Sea holly in summer, blue crown in winter. Effort and knowledge. So we need heart and skill. Anything can be learnt, and everything can be forgotten. So I guess we can garden here if we have the right skill? Question mark? Long Tower, first floor. The Long Tower looks like it's been abandoned much longer than 7 years. In the nocturnal period, the inhabitants probably spent most of their time on the seaward side of the isle. I'll need help to restore the room above, so I need lantern or winter. Why winter? Why lantern? Oh god, this music. Okay, walled garden. Iron spikes march along the top of the wall. The gate is rusted shut, but what can I see through the bars is as ruinous as I might expect. So nectar makes sense. We need edge. I guess maybe edge to like cut down to battle nature, I guess. I don't know. And then the first true threshold. I've reached the threshold of the house proper. The librarians of the Curia were scholars of note. Some were potent adepts. From here, I should proceed carefully, observing the proper forms, making the appropriate offerings. The villagers and other locals know the ways of the earth and sea hereabouts. Their assistance will be invaluable. So I'll need 3 knock and 3 rows. Oh, so because these require more of the aspects, I'll need somebody... even though this is lantern, Timothy will no longer be good enough for this because he only has 2 lantern, I think. And I can only assume the other people in this town only have 2, so I'll probably need to hire people, maybe? But let's skip ahead. I think we need to start trying to figure out how to read these books. Maybe there'll be one with like a lower... No, I didn't read this. As above, so below. A framed page of illustrated vellum. Up close, the colors dazzle and puzzle. Sky. Baron silences astrolabe. Thomas, I'll play it. Thomas Deloaf used this armillary, a spherical astrolabe, in his calculations, but it's much older than he was. Tool. One reason the ape beat the beetles. Tool. What can I use tools for? I mean, I'm assuming I can use tools for something. Desk Ava, a magnificent 18th century secretary desk commissioned for Lady Eva Daywolf, last of the Brainkrug Daywolfs. Papers. Soul papers. Oh, I can use my journal here? Some books are to be tasted, others to be swallowed, and some for you to be chewed and digested. Hold on. With bewildering and occasionally useful. This is tools. So this gives lantern. This tool gives sky. Papers. Can I use books here? Some books are to be tasted, others... So I can use books here and use tools. Hold on. So soul, skill, memory, papers with, and then either tool or ink. And when I consider, I can use language, obviously, right? Soul, skill, and memory. So it gives me an extra slot. So if I have the appropriate tools or ink, I can maybe use it to decipher a book that I couldn't do otherwise. U-Gall ink, a variant of Iron Gall ink, particularly difficult to erase. A minor ink of power. Ooh, okay. So, do I have any tools that... So I have sky and moon... Wait, no, hold on. That's a chair. I can't use a chair as a tool. I have sky and lantern. What books do I have that... So, I can't do that anyway. I don't have... I can't do these two. I don't have these languages. But knock, sky, and knock. Okay, so I don't have any knock tools, I don't think. Unless the key? No, I don't have the key anymore. Where's the key? I guess that I used it up using here. I don't know if that counted as a tool or not. Walter DeWolf. The bust is carved from serpentinite, a striking local stone. Quire of paper, creamy smooth, eagerly awaiting ink. Blank, come friendly words, fuel. Each hour has its color, each flame has its fuel. Don't trust your dreams. George Collars, first and last governor of Brandkrug Gold. Ooh. Oh man, this music... I might buy the soundtrack for this game, unironically. I love this. This music has been so good. Daybreak. Memories fade, assistance departs, but the soul is refreshed. Fleeting reminiscence, a moment in time, in another moment it'll be gone. If unused memories disappear with the dawn. Alright, so... What can we do? I guess we should try... No, I think we should try... Let's start considering these books. Which ones... So these are the... Curia... We should probably do the Baronial period, or the Curia is closer. I don't know, which one would you think would be easier to decipher? Because this is... Baronial period. This requires 4 edge, and this is Curia period, which requires 8 nectar. I don't know if that has any relations to how difficult the book is to the mystery. But let's we can maybe catalog it with the desk. I want the... No, I need to use Trist. Oops. Catalog it with the desk. And then also catalog with our... Whoops. Soul? Yeah, we can consider it. I think we still need to be introduced to the smith. Oh. Something for me. The postmistress regards me with the chilly gaze of a goddess image in an ancient hill shrine. The librarian, she says, yes, I have something for you. Wait here, please. Expertise, memories, the prodigal. What? Hold on. Hold on. Okay, hold on. The prodigal. My parents were long, which is to say immortal, and long are not permitted to make children. Their punishment is this. Now that they know I live, they cannot rest until they devour me. Here in Hush House, I will be safe. It is even possible that I might learn to shape a weapon to defend myself. So our parents were long. Immortal. So long, I don't know exactly what a long is. I do know they apparently are immortal. And they're also not... So men and women long are not allowed to touch each other, are not allowed to engage in romantic, sexual, that sort of relationship with each other. They are allowed to do that with others of the same gender. So men are allowed to lay with men, women are allowed to lay with women. I don't know if it gets into other gender identities. I have no idea how that works in terms of long. Who knows? But they are not allowed to, I guess maybe because, I don't know. I don't know what a long is. I don't know how one becomes a long. Okay. Well, that's good to know. So our parents were long. Our parents were immortal. Are our parents still alive? Now that they know I live, they cannot rest until they devour me. Who is they? My parents? Or the people that take offense to Long's knowing people? Oh, let's, ooh, clouds. In this country, the sky is rarely clear. The sun goes courteously cloaked. Let's get this guy, and then we can maybe talk to him. Because I'm curious on what that means. And I don't know. We'll see. To the threshold of the house. Go to the next completed. Let's see if we can talk to him at all. Reverend Timothy is always happy to chat. Add an element of the soul to enhance Reverend Timothy's effectiveness for the day, or just talk. Unlike some assistants, Timothy can make use of candles. Oh. Hold on, so we can hire him and then, like, give him, either bolster his effectiveness with our... Together we'll be watchful. Boosts lantern and sky. I'm ready to lend my limbs. Boosts heart, scale, and nectar. Oh, so we can, like, chat with him. What else can we use and collaborate? So we can make use of candles. I can offer our assistant a candle. This will increase their aspects. They'll keep any candle stumps that might be left over. I don't want to use that soap right now. But okay. Okay. So I can, like, invite them over. I can offer my assistant something to drink. This will increase their aspects. They can also be glad of their refreshment. Oh, that's cool. That's neat. That's, like, cool flavor. We can, like, hire them and, like, invite them to, like, a cup of tea and chat with them, and then we can get to work. Refill slots with recently used items. No, I don't need that. So we're gonna talk with him to increase his lantern. I think because we have 2, so it'll give him 2 lantern and 1 sky. So it'll give him 4 lantern and 1 sky. And then we can use him to decipher, or to get to this area, right? Because this only has 3. 2 sky. We don't have enough foss, so our sky would only be give him 1. Catalog a burial period book. Now I have an idea of the book's nature and its contents. 3 flowers hath the tree. I think all these books so far are from Cultist Simulator. Erin Stein Peterhands records her observations of the growth of trees and flowers around the isle, and the omens and portents she attempts to draw from them, particularly the yew tree in Errol Bryan's meadow, whose flowerings are sometimes eccentric. Leaves and thorns, there's no scent without sorrow. Burial period. Mystery nectar, only 4. So hold on. Let me see if I can arrange... These are 4... I don't have any knock. Do I have nectar? This only gives 1 nectar, so no, I do not. Now I have an idea of the book's nature and its contents. So, Etery After, an anonymous erotic novel occasionally claimed to have been written by Ava Davewolf, although at least 2 duels were fought in her honor to avenge the slander. I don't know, like, noble women were getting up to some... Like, they didn't have anything else to do, right? So, like, although, Ava Daywolf, they didn't have anything else to do, so they were reading and writing to their heart's content. Uncatalogued book, yeah, let's... Alright, so this needs 8. What was the subject? Subject, inks of containment, the inks in which the histories are preserved. That needs 8 winter. We definitely do not have enough for 8 winter. But let's, I can't use my heart there. But let's see what happens if I use my heart here with money. What visitors might be passing through? Find out what unusual passerby may be looking for employment. Dawn. At this time... Oh, wait, we're still in Dawn. I thought we were in, not Dawn. My assistant and I are vigilant. So, yeah, 4 lantern and 1 sky. So we can use him here. The long tower, is that because it's long, or is it because Long's entities stayed here? Which looks like it's been abandoned much longer than 7 years. Yeah, okay. We're gonna speed up just a little bit. Passing by a consulting engineer. A consulting engineer has stopped by the Sweet Bones on the way home. The consulting engineer provides forge, sky, and lantern assistance. Talk to her before she leaves if you want to use her services. She needs 24, it looks like. Fee. Yeah, we only have 12, so. Oh, that exhausted our heart, though. That's unfortunate. Oof, okay. Morning, the 3rd hour when the office of Trace once was sung. Watch as the day opens like a door. Hold on, what just happened? I heard a sound. Oh, this area is open now. Long Tower Solomon's Study. In 1818, the very Reverend Solomon Husher became 3rd librarian of the Curia of the Isle. He took rooms in the Long Tower as his quarters. Husher's tastes were Spartan. Although the Curia generally liked a little more luxury, no one ever quite dared to redecorate the place after his disappearance. Well, that's gonna change. I'm kidding, I'm not gonna. So, Librarian period still. Desk. Pale. Solomon Husher himself commissioned this from Lockwood Fen Bogyew, blackened and half fossilized by centuries underwater. Here at this desk, he wrote this doomy allegory of winter and its romance with the sun. When he blotted the last words on his manuscript and rose from his work, the timber had turned pale as fresh-cut maple, or so the story goes. Solomon Husher. This bust is the palest white marble. That doesn't look like a person, that looks like a mask. Chalice candle. A candle scented with fragrant chalice. God, I need to light up a scented candle in here. I'm like... Maybe next time. Light in its remembrance. Widow's candle. Another widow's candle. Perinculate. Deadly. Use gloves to read text produced with this pigment, an ink of power. Sometimes considered an unsanctioned ink. It has a lot of edge. Whoops. Divine parchment, pale as the first wisp of mountain cloud. We read this desk. Is there anything else in here? Thing? No. Does not look like it. What about wall art? Yeah, there's nothing decorative here. Long tower, 2nd floor, freezing air, even tendrils of fog drift from the tower top. I should probably seek help from someone who knows the local traditions for dealing with restless spirits. Okay. Alright, so I think we're going to end this day. Midday, before the Great Division, this was the 6th hour, when the priests led hymns to the sun in splendor. Now noon, as they say, is not as it was. Perhaps the new king will change that. So the sun in splendor is what the sun was before it was killed and split. That is the hour that the sun was. We want him. I don't want the sun in splendor back. He sounds like a cool guy, right? Afternoon, the little hour called nuns. when the doors of the manses are most tightly closed. For the secular, the hours when we require anticipate tea or celebrate it. And then there is, after the afternoon, there is dusk, night from day. We've read that. Okay. So, because I don't think I can do anything this day, anything more this day, because all my souls are... all elements of my soul are used up. So, as we enter a new day, I think we will call it a night. Thank you all so much for joining me. I'm looking really forward to continuing our exploration into Hush House. And if you have any questions or feedback on how I'm going about it, the exploration, feel free to comment below. Again, thank you so much, and I hope to see you next time. Goodbye.